This year has proven to be quite a turbulent one, with all of the news breaking, literally breaking down the crypto market, especially with that of Bitcoin. And so we have here an article that's highlighting in regards to what's called the stock to flow chart. This is from a creator known as Plan B. He's been known in this industry space for quite a while now, and he has a reputation for being quite accurate with his chart explanations. His chart breakdown is future predictions of where Bitcoin has that flow, and really indicating the median zone, right? So that average of where Bitcoin should rest as we go through the different halving markets. And obviously this year we had a lot of huge things go down, most recently of which was with that of FTX. And that has had an impact. But has it had an impact on his perspective view, his outlook on the future of Bitcoin and the trend that it had been on and where it's going to next? We're going to get into that. I have an article link in the description. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. I highly encourage you guys to go do your own research. And with that being said, let's go and dive into the news. This titled article, Bitcoin sees record stock to flow miss. Bitcoin price model creator brushes off FTX blip. Bitcoin price action since FTX, quote, feels like the world has ended, says stock to flow creator Plan B. Bitcoin is now further than ever from its target price according to the stock to flow S2F model. The latest data shows that Bitcoin/USD pairing has deviated from planned price growth to an extent never seen before. Stock to flow sets grim new record, with Bitcoin price suppression ongoing in light of the FTX scandal. An already bearish trend has only strengthened. This has implications for many core aspects of the Bitcoin network, notably miners, but some of its best known metrics are also feeling the heat. Among them is S2F, which is seeing its price forecasts come under increasing strain and criticism, enjoying great popularity until Bitcoin's last all-time high in November 2021. The model uses block subsidy halving events as the central element in plotting exponential price growth through the years. Stock to flow allows for significant price deviations and is not, quote, up only. But even accounting for these, current targets are far higher than the spot price. According to dedicated monitoring resource S2F Multiple, Bitcoin should trade at just over $72,000 on November 19th, giving a multiple of negative 1.47. On November 10th, the multiple reached negative 1.5, a record negative reading in stock to flow's lifetime, as the FTX impact hit the market. Plan B feels like the world has ended. An alternative iteration of stock to flow model deviation from analytics platform Look Into Bitcoin produced similar conclusions about this month's price action. Price has now strayed further below the stock to flow line than ever before. Its creator Philip Swift wrote in part of an accompanying Twitter post, currently a variance of minus 1.26 versus the previous all-time low of minus 1.21 back in 2011. Nonetheless, Plan B, the pseudonymous analyst responsible for the creation and now defense of stock to flow, remains cool on its utility. Quote, it feels like the world ended, but FTX will probably be just a small blip on the long-term radar, he argued in his own tweet. Plan B has fielded increasingly strong accusations over the model in 2022, these including claims that its basis is fraudulent. In response to the increase in deviation between target and spot price, he maintained that even a comparatively wide range for price to act within and still keep the model valid was still more useful than no insight at all. So what are my thoughts on this? First off, I've taken a look at the Bitcoin stock to flow model in the past, and it has been historically quite a good reference point. As you guys can see from this image right here, we do have that one singular line that's going up and then that big incline. That's during the halving events, which happens every 4 years for roughly of Bitcoin, right? So we can see then the price fluctuations, which are all of these little dots. Every time there's a new instance, that dot gets recorded, and as you can see that there's a color spectrum sort of indicating what time period during that phase these actions were taking place. And there were times that it underperformed. There were times where it was right on the line. There were other times where it overperformed. Some instances, it overperformed quite considerably. But then we see that that deviation always seems to come right back around to that same median line. So as it is right now with where we're at, you guys can see, as was mentioned in this article, we are considerably down from that median line, meaning that we have a lot of ground to try and make up. But this news was definitely something that shocked the crypto industry space. We did not see this FTX coming along and having this instance. We didn't see Luna earlier having this issue. We didn't see Russia invading Ukraine. We didn't see that there was going to be massive increases in the inflation, and there's being supply chain issues with things, and all the ramifications of the aftermath of a global pandemic shutting the world economies down, and then now them starting to open up, and then now there being issues with certain countries because of the war with Russia and Ukraine. You see, there's so many factors that just got thrown on the table all at the same time that it's hard to try and make any sense of it when you have tons of variables. Like, imagine you have a simple equation, and then all of a sudden you introduce 5 new variables into that same equation. It's not as easy to solve, right? So, here's the thing. My personal belief on this is that things will work themselves out. Things are going to calm down. Bitcoin has proven itself to be credible for quite a while now. We've gone through phases similar to this in the past, for example, with Mt. Gox and Silk Road in its early days. You have more institutional investors that are backing cryptocurrency. You have El Salvador, a whole country that's backing that of Bitcoin itself. So there's a lot that works in favor of crypto, especially that of Bitcoin. What works against it right now is possible new regulations coming in, the identification of what's a security and what's not. The SEC very well could end up cracking down on the whole space, and lo and behold, it's like everything except for Bitcoin, all of a sudden, now what? Like, it's illegal to trade, it's illegal to use. Like, what kind of an impact would that have for anyone in the United States trying to do trades? So that's a huge issue all of its own, and the registration process to get those things done. I think that we are going to balance this out. We're going to come back out of this, but it's just my opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I keep stressing this. This is not financial advice. It's just one guy, one dude on the internet and his opinion. Make of that what you will. If this manages to come back up, I would think that we have an opportunity here to see a massive bounce back. Because when people say buy the dip, it's like, well, the dip has dipped so far down, it's further down in comparison than any other time historically based on this stock to flow model chart. So if people decide to get in at this point in time, could crypto get even further down? Yeah, we could have some other news. There could be some other hedge fund that had a major mishap with that of FTX. There could be some other vulnerability, some other exploit. There could be a massive dump. What if Satoshi Nakamoto, all of a sudden his wallet got tapped into and he starts selling out of there, right? There's variables that definitely could come into play, and some of these we don't expect. But what are the likelihood of those events taking place in the near term, given the circumstances of what we've been seeing? I would say pretty small. Maybe higher for the hedge funds and stuff that's related over to FTX, because that is rippling out, and we're still finding out as of recently what other companies have been affected by that, some of which have been affected quite considerably. But besides that, I think that the dust is starting to settle, and people are kind of noticing where we're at, where we're hanging out, and people are going to start saying, okay, are we good? We're all good? Everyone's chilled out? Okay, start to invest a little bit. Price starts coming up. Still going. Everyone's okay. All right, here we go now. Let's go, right? That's how this kind of stuff tends to go. You go through these wave of emotions for sure. So we're seeing Bitcoin hanging out right around an average price point today. Just dropped tiny bit below as of the moment of when I'm recording this video. But tell me, what do you guys think about the future of Bitcoin in the comments down below? Now, lastly, I want to go ahead and tell you guys about Webull. So there is a promotion going on. I have a referral link down in the description below. You could get up to 12 free stocks. If you use that referral link, you open up an account, you get 2 free fractional shares, each valued up to $300. If you deposit any amount, you could receive between 4 to 10 free fractional shares, each valued up to $3,000. You can also trade cryptocurrencies on this platform. So they have a variety of options here available, a wide variety of options here available for you guys. Again, it's just an option. Market's down. If you want to participate in that, feel free to go check it out. Link is in the description. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Double shout out thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Victor Vegas, SafeMoon Oz for being higher level patrons. Also, thank you to my YouTube members for your support. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit the thumbs up like button. I need to get something to eat. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.